You know, when something goes wrong at work, a slip, a machine breaking down, a serious injury, it's really easy to just chalk it up to bad luck. But what if it isn't? What if every single accident is actually a puzzle, a trail of clues that leads to a much, much deeper truth? Well, in this explainer, we're going to become safety detectives. We're going to learn how to solve these puzzles and, more importantly, how to stop them from ever happening again.
First off, let's just be really clear about the stakes here. According to the International Labor Organization, that number on your screen, that's how many people die every single year from work-related accidents and diseases. 2 million. That is not just a statistic, right? It's a global crisis, and it's exactly why learning how to solve this puzzle is so incredibly important.
And this quote, well, it just puts everything into perspective, doesn't it? At the end of the day, safety isn't just about rules and regulations or company costs. At its very core, it's about a fundamental moral duty we all have to one another. Everybody, and I mean everybody, deserves to go home at the end of the day safe and sound.
Okay, so to solve any puzzle, first you have to learn the language. Before we can figure out why things go wrong, we need to get crystal clear on what we're even talking about. So let's break down some of the key terms you'll hear.
Everything really starts with a hazard. Just think of it as a source of potential danger. It could be something super obvious, like a big piece of moving machinery, or it could be something less visible, like a chemical or even just excessive noise. It's basically the what could hurt you.
Right, so if the hazard is the what, then risk is the what if. It's the chance, the probability that that hazard is actually going to cause harm. So a frayed electrical cord, that's the hazard. The risk is the likelihood that someone is actually going to get shocked by it.
Now, an incident is like a warning shot. It's a huge red flag. It's any unplanned event that either causes an accident or, crucially, had the potential to. This includes all those near misses, those heart-stopping moments where you think, whoa, that was close. Those are incidents, and honestly, they are golden opportunities to learn before someone gets hurt.
And here's the absolute key difference, laid out side by side. An incident has the potential for harm. An accident is when that potential becomes a reality, when harm actually happens. See why investigating incidents is so important? It's how we stop them from turning into accidents.
All right, so we've got the vocabulary down. Now comes the real detective work. We're going to move beyond just what happened on the surface and start digging to uncover what's truly responsible. And let me be clear, we are not looking for a person to blame. We are searching for the flaws in the system that we need to fix.
The best way to think about an accident is like an iceberg. What you see, the event itself, that's just the tiny little tip sticking out of the water. The real causes, the massive hidden dangers, they're all lurking right below the waterline. Our job is to look beneath the surface.
So right at the very top of that iceberg, that visible part, that's the direct cause. This is the thing that happened right at that moment. Somebody slipped on a wet floor. A machine guard was taken off. A chemical spilled. It's the action that directly, immediately led to the harm.
Now, let's go just a little bit deeper, just below the surface. Here we find the indirect causes. These are things like unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. So, why was the floor wet in the first place? That's an unsafe condition. Why did someone decide to run on that wet floor instead of walk? Well, that's an unsafe act. You see, these are the symptoms of a much deeper problem.
And way down at the bottom, the massive, invisible foundation of the iceberg, that is the root cause. And it's almost never one single thing. As you can see in this diagram, it's usually a systemic failure. It's this overlap where issues with management, personnel, the environment, materials, and the task itself all crash into each other to create the perfect storm for failure. This is what we have to find, and this is what we have to fix.
Finding that root cause is totally transformative. It allows a company to stop just reacting to disasters after they happen and start proactively building a system where those disasters are far, far less likely to happen in the first place.
And this right here, this is the core philosophy of any good investigation. The goal is not to point a finger and ask, who did this? The goal is to gather the facts and ask, why did our system allow this to happen? That simple shift from blame to understanding, it's everything.
A proper investigation isn't random. It follows a clear, structured process, just like this. It starts with reporting the incident and getting first aid, of course. Then you do the deep dive investigation. Identify all those causes we talked about. Report the findings, and, this is the most important part, you create a concrete action plan to make sure it never ever happens again. Ultimately, the lessons you learn from investigating one single incident should ripple outwards, making the entire organization stronger. It's about moving from just having a set of rules on paper to having a shared mindset, a true culture of safety.
So, what does that actually look like? Well, it's a living, breathing system. It includes everything from the design of the equipment itself to making sure people are well trained, to having good supervision, to constantly reviewing your procedures. See, safety isn't just a poster you stick on the wall. It has to be woven into the very fabric of the work itself.
And this is absolutely key. It is a shared responsibility. It's a partnership. Employers have a duty to provide a safe system, safe equipment, and good training. And employees have a critical duty to use that system correctly, to report any dangers they see, and to never, ever interfere with safety measures. Both sides have to be all in.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Think about your own workplace. I'm almost certain you have a safety plan somewhere, maybe in a binder gathering dust on a shelf. But here's the real question. Is it just a document, or is it something that everyone, from the newest hire to the CEO, actually lives and breathes every single day? Is it just a plan, or is it a culture?